Hey everyone, has the idea of goal setting kind of got you kind of down in the dumps? If so, I want to share with you how you don't have to suck at goal setting and how there are some strategies and some resources as you begin going into the new 2023 and beyond business year. And there are some opportunities that you can do so successfully as we enter into that new year so that your content marketing strategies can be the best that they ever are, and that a goal and a plan is what's going to get you there. So, as always, let's get busy. Hey, there's Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach, and we are here for another Biz Tip Tuesday. And today, again, our subject is, do you have to suck at goal setting? No, you don't. You just need to have the right tools and some focus. But the most important thing is, in order for your business to be successful, whether you're using content marketing strategies, digital marketing strategies, guerrilla marketing strategies, you do have to have a plan. And part of having a plan means that you ought to have some goals. But it's the goal setting process that people typically don't go through all the way thoroughly, or they have what I would consider to be half-ass goals that they don't monitor and they're not checked. And most importantly, they're not aligned. So let me share with you a couple of resources. And today I'm gifting. Today is a gifting day as well. So you're going to have some good freebies that's going to come along with today's coaching session. So let's get into that a little bit. So first thing is to know is that goal setting is the most fun or enjoyable, usually possess two quality components, if you would. The first thing is that they are attainable, meaning that they are doable, but they do need to stretch you kind of out of your comfort zone. So that's really important. And the reason for what we typically do is that we set such high expectations for ourselves when we don't make attainable goals that are doable goals. And then we set ourselves up for being hard on ourselves later on down the line as we move into the year, and that we're like, oh, we didn't do what we said we're going to do. You make these promises and they just need to be attainable. At the same time, they also should be aligned with what is your most valued aspects of your business, your values, the things that are going to be important to you, that are going to move your business, and most importantly, be able to make the connections that you want with your intended audience, both offline, local, and online. And so the other great thing about that is that each goal, when you make them attainable, is going to advance you to get further towards the lifestyle or the business outcomes that you are striving for. So, why is it that when it comes to goal setting, people suck at it? They suck at goal setting and they suck at goal keeping. So, one of the things that we might want to just start with is your personality. Do you know what your goal setting persona is? And once you understand that, it gives you a better sense for how you can strive and set up goals along the way. So I'm going to go through that exercise with you today. And then as a result, I'm going to give you my kick butt bundle, and you'll have all the resources that you need so that you can establish business goals going into the new year for yourself or your team, and that you'll have a better means of doing it. And you can have some fun at the same time, because the process of strategic planning and goal setting are important steps. You don't want to skip them and just kind of wander into the business year, and you don't know what you're doing or why you're doing what you're doing. And if you keep shooting from the hip, you're going to get you'll just be aiming at anything, and that's not going to be a really good way for you to be successful and attain the goals that you're looking for. So there are typically three types of people when it comes to goal setting, and you might find a clue as to which one you might be in the way of goal setting and how it makes you feel. So think of goal setting in one of these three ways. Are you excited when it comes to setting goals, but you can become easily distracted and then become easily discouraged? Or do you feel like when you think about goal setting, it's kind of put knots in your stomach and it kind of puts that little lump in your throat. And you'd rather do something else and you just keep putting it off. Or if you are kind of that ironclad, self disciplined person and you're going to set goals, but it's not easy for you to keep walking in that straight and narrow path along the way. And you have to keep reminding yourself of the benefits that you be reaping once you do set those goals for yourself and helping them to get achieved. And so, for the most part, when we think about those three different types of personas, um, most people kind of fall in line with the first and the second one for the most part. But there's a way that you can set goals. And I think one of the things that we tend to not do is how we don't make them, the whole process, a fun experience. We think of it as something that is like on the checklist, things that have to be done, rather than looking at it as an opportunity to have some fun, break out of your shell, and look at the opportunities that you have in front of yourself through a different lens. So, best of all, you don't want to do this as looking at it as a chore or even wishful thinking, if you would, because that is not an effective way or strategy. As we say, hope is not a strategy. So you don't want to put yourself in that position. So the other misconception when it comes to goals is, and I talk about this a lot with my clients, is your goal is not an endpoint to the journey that you're trying to achieve. And very often, what ends up happening is we view goals as this kind of step that you have to take in order to reach a goal, rather than looking at it as this journey where there are steps, there are like mini goals, and then the end goal and the destination is there as a bigger aspect. And it makes things more attainable and more manageable when you can chunk them down. I have this saying, and it goes inch by inch is a cinch. Yard by yard is mighty hard. So, which would you rather do? Take the inch by inch approach and know that progress is better than perfection. And every step that you take is getting you closer to that goal, no matter how small it might be, rather than thinking you have to take these huge leaps. And when you take a huge leap, of course, you're taking higher risk, and the higher the risk, the likely you are to fall and may not land as solid as one would anticipate. So those are the things you want to think of. So one of the permissions I like to say that you ought to be giving yourself is allowing yourself to make goals that are going to be achievable and making them mini goals. Along the way, you can fulfill all of those all of those items that you want to achieve, and then you'll feel better about yourself. And at the end of the year, the bigger goals get accomplished. So mini goals are kind of those building blocks of belief, if you would. The more of these that you have that are successful, then you're more easily able to believe and achieve the bigger goal in and of itself. So success breeds success, if you would. So those are the things that you always want to kind of keep in mind. So do remember that setting those mini goals and having that kind of quick wins are what's going to get you over the finish line long term. So those are the things to keep in mind. So what I wanted to share with you is a couple of resources that I feel will be very helpful for you that I've been working on, and I want to share with you guys inside of the community. And then for those of you who are new to our community, I want to say welcome to you as well. So let me share my screen real quick. And hold on one second. There we go. All righty. There we go. Sorry, my screen is one, two, or even my screen is okay. There we go. All righty. So let me share my screen, and then we're going to get you what you need. So there's three parts to what I call this kick butt bundle. So Kicking butt and having fun at the same time is the goal when it comes to goal setting for this time around. So if you've been putting it off, or you've been lamenting, as I like to call it, about what will business goals for you look like for the coming business year, these tools I feel could be very helpful to get you past that kind of stuck spot and move you into being productive. So here I'm going to share my screen. Let me hit present. And the first thing is going to be I have is a workbook. Then you have what I call a brainstorming worksheet. And then, of course, you have a checklist to kind of keep you in line and checking off things as you move through and progress through the workbook and the ideas that are there so that you have all those in mind. So I'm going to let's make sure my Adobe, here we go. All righty. So inside of the workbook that you'll have access to, if you don't already have been done so, now you will need to sign up and access it. So I just want to make you aware. So the link is inside of the Facebook group. And if you don't see that in the group, then just direct message me or ask for it inside of the group, and I'll be more than happy to send you the link. So inside of the workbook, it is a fillable workbook. So what that means, oh, is this going to stop sharing? My thing is stuck. There we go. There we go. Okay, sorry. So the first thing you're going to have is a workbook. So the workbook is kind of a guide. And the reason for that is that I want to give you different steps and strategies on how you can go about goal setting in and of itself. So I identified about 15 or so different ways that you can look at goal setting and how is it that you can help to expand yourself when it comes to building your business. In relation to that, obviously, is going to give you the opportunity to build content. Again, when you have a goal, and you have a plan, then everything should be centered around what you're wanting to do. And in regards to your content creations, and your digital content, both of them are also be centered around getting you closer to your goal. So today, we're going to be focusing on just that. What are the ways in which you can look at setting up those goals? So there are 17 different opportunities for you to tap into and have some fun at the same time. So the workbook allows you to do that and gives you some quick prompts. So as you work through each one of the guides, questions, simply reflect and think about opportunities that you can do and take note of that. And as simple as it gets, in thinking about how you can set those goals and have fun at the same time. So everything from, again, giving yourself opportunities to think bigger than you always have. I think sometimes we put limits to ourselves that we don't have to. And so you're the boss of you. So why not think bigger than you've ever thought of before? In some cases, you don't have to broadcast your goals. They're just yours. They're for you and your business if you're that solopreneur, freelancer, and coach. So, but again, are they attainable goals as well? And in making sure that they're broken down into ways in which you can manage it. Some of us are working a side gig. We're not working this full time, and that's fine. And so you have to be able to say, can I reach that goal with the time constraints that I have? And so those are the things you want to kind of work yourself and give yourself permission to do. So the workbook is just that, opportunities for you to reflect, be present in the moment, and give yourself the opportunity to set the goals that are going to be necessary for you to achieve them at the same time. So as you're thinking about your goals, these are some of the steps that you can take yourself through. It is a process. I don't want you to just think like, oh, well, next year I just want to make $10,000 or $100,000. You just throw these numbers out from out of nowhere, and it's just random. And that's that shooting from the hip strategy, and it's just not going to be effective. You want to have mental models of how you see yourself getting through those particular tasks and reaching those particular goals, and you need to be able to chunk them down. So the workbook is just that. It's an exercise for you to read and reflect and give yourself ideas on how is this you can approach those goal setting attempts, so that way you can actually create some goals that you'll be able to achieve. And you can think about the things that you need to start doing when you're getting to those goals. Do I need to be outsourcing? Is all this work incumbent upon me? Or can I do these things, give some to maybe a ghostwriter, or maybe I'm going to give it to a social media manager to do some of my work in order for me to achieve those particular goals. And you also want to just, again, these are just reflections and things you need to be thinking about when you are setting your goals so that you have some meaningful, thoughtful process. And it's going to help you so much further down the line. It takes me at least a good, I'd say, 2 or 3 days to really reflect on the things that happened for the past year, where things are right now. How do I see things moving for the next, first quarter, 6 months out, and a whole year out, right? So those are the ways you want to be able to look at it. So the first resource inside of your bundle, it's just that it's a workbook for you to identify and put some reflection into the work of goal setting itself. Then, once you've done that, I have for you the actual brainstorming worksheet. So, once you've identified what you assume will be the goal that you want to attain, you'll be able to write it down, and then in addition to that, I have an article that's embedded in the workbook for you to read about how to write a goal statement, because there's a method to that. It's the SMART method. If you haven't done it before, I walk you through that process as well. And I give you some really good examples of what do SMART goal statements look like. Because a goal should be a one sentence kind of a statement that kind of encapsulates what you want to be able to do, how you see yourself doing it, and when is it going to actually get done, and just how attainable, and that you make it fit, that is an attainable goal, and that's what makes it smart. So I take you through that. So the worksheet is, once you've gone through the reflection process, it's just that, go through the worksheet, and then it gets more clear, and you get to brainstorm the who, the what, and the where, and the how of getting to that particular goal. Now, you may have one major goal, you may have, it's up to 3. I usually tell people not to make more than 3 goals, for themselves, and one may have to do something very specific, but they should be goals, again, it's gonna move your needle, for your business based on where you saw yourself from last year, so you know what your baselines are. Yes, there's monetary goals, right? You wanna be able to say, "Well, I wanna be able to improve my revenue, I wanna be able to increase the number of clients, I wanna be able to increase my brand awareness in the way of social media and maybe in ads." You get to choose. So, but I always suggest not to make more than 3 particular goals. And some maybe take longer than, it doesn't have to take an entire year to do. You may say, I want to be able to have, 20 more, clients in on my software for the first quarter, versus I want to have, increase my brand awareness and get it up to so many likes and or people who are converting in my sales funnel, whatever those is, in 6 months, and then something else that might be more longer term with respect to maybe a financial commitment. So those are different ways of looking at it. So all goals do not have to be year long. You can segment them, but they all should be in alignment to where you see trying to build and grow your business over time. Some of those goals may also be somewhat personal goals. They're not necessarily tied to money, but maybe has to do with who you are and what you want to achieve personally as the business owner. I want to be able to say, I want to work with a coach, and that's going to help me hold me accountable to these goals, because that's something else that you may find that will help you to reach the intended goals that you're overall that you're looking for. So that's essentially what coaching is about. Coaching is about being accountable and helping you to reach those goals. And so sometimes we can't do this work by ourselves. We need to have the help of other people. So if that's something that you're interested in, of course, you can always reach out to me. And then if I don't see that I'm a great fit for you, I certainly have connections with other coaches that may help you in the particular needs that you have at the same time. So the brainstorming worksheet is a workable worksheet, meaning that you click on it, you can type right into it. I should at least say type, right? You can type in your notes and save it along the way. So you get to download this and let this be at the end, all of the field, all the different information you want to be asking yourself, the critical questions. And again, this is what's going to make your goal I'll just say doable at the same time, and that you put the thought to it. And these are the questions you need to be asking yourself so that you can say, yes, this is how I see myself working through the goals. Here's another reason for this. I was recently working with someone, and they were in the process of seeking additional funds, maybe some money for capital. And so when you're thinking about asking for either private investor or maybe even you call it, going to the bank and getting a loan. The thoughts that you need to be taking through are these thoughts, and you need to then be able to capture that even as a part of your plan, right? So if you see a need for you to take out a small loan, and there's some really good SBA loans out there, by the way. And so if you feel that in order for you to get the kick that you want for your business, you may want to seek some outside financial assistance. But let me tell you, if your business plan doesn't have to be very extensive, but you need to be able to articulate how do you see using that money, let alone the fact that you've actually taken the time to be thoughtful about how you see growing the business and why you justify the need for the extra money. So your business plan should have some goals and some objectives. How do you see get where you want to go? And then of course, how you see using this money. So this exercise is just as important whether you're asking for outside money, or at least how do you see generating differently the money in revenues that you want to build for your business. So that's what the worksheet is going to help you to do, is to capture all the information irrespective of how you see getting that particular goal achieved at the same time. Now, in addition to that, I've actually created a quick checklist for you. So as you're going through each one of the steps, this is going to help you. Let me see if it's going to let me do it. Okay. It's not letting me. There we go. Um, you can check off the questions that you've asked yourself in the workbook. So this is just another guide. Some people like to go straight to the worksheet. They haven't read the workbook, or sometimes some people just get my checklist because they find that that's a real useful um, tool that's going to help them to think through the pieces and parts that they need. Now, you don't have to fill out the forms themselves. If you rather keep everything in your biz journal, then by all means do so. But again, you need to have a process of how you are going to achieve the goal setting that you need to do to get you prepared for the business year or and beyond for that matter. And so a tool such as this is why I created it for you guys. So remember, last month we talked about email marketing and some of the things and resources that you really need to put into place. And last month we were really talking about how, oops, sorry, how we were looking at the opportunities for promoting, and how that is also another vehicle that's going to help you. So inside of the community is all about how is it that you're going to be able to plan your year for promotions and giving you those thoughts and ideas. But now that you have a strategy for those goals, it's going to help you to kind of nail things down so that you can have the focus that you need. And that's what's really important moving forward and preparing for the next fiscal year. Now, where are you going to get all these resources? So I'm going to drop this link. Let me see if I can do this right for you. I'm going to pop it inside of the, let's see if I can do that here in the comments. This is, again, the Kick Butt Bundle. There you go. So tap into that. Is also a link inside of the our Facebook community so that you can access it from there. Just simply put in your email and your name, and then you'll get access to the bundle to download, and then you'll be good to go. All 3 resources are there. And then I send you a little extra, as always, when it comes to anything that I like to do. You know me, I like to give stuff away that's, again, going to be useful for what it is that you're trying to do. So that being said, you now have a link for inside. And again, you don't have to suck at goal setting. You do need a tool and a process in order for you to do it where you're going to get satisfied with the result. And you can be proud of how you can convey and articulate that goal and that state in your vision for your business moving forward. And now, if you're looking to have a coach, great, contact me. If not, I have somebody else that can work along with you. Go on over to I'm sorry, not content, inside of keepitsimplecoach.info. You have a link there that you can reach me. Don't forget, if you're not already done so, for those of you who are new to our community, welcome, welcome, welcome. Always great to have you on board. Inside of Content Creation Tips and More is where we help solopreneurs, freelancers, and coaches use content marketing strategies to help to build their business. So now that you have the tools to set a goal and you establish your goal, then you'll be able, when we circle back around, how do you plan for promotions going into next year? How do you plan for the content going into next year so that it is an alignment to your business goals and needs that you're going to be able to help yourself as well as other people. Now, if you haven't started a business, but you want to, I want to head you on over to the busy9to5ershive.com. And that's where our busy 9to5ers start a side gig with a little help from me as well. And we have resources and tools to bring you over there. So what's in my toolbox? Well, inside of my toolbox, I have a plethora of resources that I use personally, and or I at least know that they are useful for other people given the nature of the type of work that you do. So please, inside of my website, you will also see resources, and there is my list of tools and resources that you can use for yourself and your business. Not everything is for everybody. They're just resources, the things that you can do, not the way, but a way, as we like to say. So do head on over to there and you can check out my toolkit of resources that helps me run the business that I run, really two businesses that I run on a day-to-day operations. So with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. Again, don't forget, download the bundle. And of course, share the link with your friends. It's a freebie. Doesn't cost you anything, but you do need to put your email and your name in because I want to be able to do my tracking. So I'm also modeling for you how you can set up a lead magnet, part of your content marketing strategies. Always remember that when we're thinking about content marketing, we're always thinking about the ecosystem. So inside of our ecosystem, we've got our website, we've got email automation, we've got the visual creatives, like a lead magnet, like an infographic. We also have the podcasting is another method and strategy. I've got some really great things in store about podcasting going into next year. I'm really super duper excited about. And of course, social media management and marketing are also useful methods for you to grow your business as far as content marketing. And last but not least, we never want to forget about blogging. And how is it that you want to share your expertise and your knowledge and your insights with your intended audience, and also how you'll be able to drive the traffic to your websites when you have good content that's out there. Good quality content is all that what it takes for you to help you build your business. Remember, content marketing is what I call the slow but strong kind of method. It's the long game. It's not the short game. Short game is going to be more like your digital marketing, like putting ads out there for a short and giving you a good boost. And a good mix of both is always what's useful. But again, when you have a good plan in place, then you're able to make everything kind of come alive, if you would. So content marketing is the method and the strategy that we utilize here inside of our content creation tips and more Facebook group. And so always know that you have an opportunity where you can share your knowledge and expertise as well, and also share your attempts and what you're doing. So that's what that group is all about as well. So until next time, this is Dr. Yam. I am your Keep It Simple coach. As always, let's get busy. Bye-bye.